Have you ever wondered what life would be like on a flat Earth? Well, you don't have to, because you've been doing it.
Okay.
So, Daniel, this is our first show.
All right, we're good to go. Yeah, first ever 780 show podcast.
Welcome.
Feels good.
780, for those who don't understand, because we've been asked a lot what that means. It's the area code.
It's the area code of Edmonton. And I don't think people are going to pick up on that right away.
No.
They'll probably, 780 show. What does that mean?
No, it's 780. That's important. Not really, but it's funny though, because most people I know, their phone numbers don't actually start with 780.
No, it's like 587.
Yeah.
Or I thought there was a new one, but I think it's just
277. No, that's BC.
No,
Either way, the 780 show. I like this. The setup's not the world's best, but we'll get there one day.
Yeah, we make the best of what we got, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so before we get into the, I guess
the meat of the show.
The meat of the show. We just want to give updates on what's going on in and around the city. So what can we do in Edmonton this week?
This week in Edmonton, there's actually a lot to do this week. I was surprised because...
Isn't there like the Fringe Festival? Or that?
No, I think that's over. This week in Edmonton, August 11th to August 13th, you can go to Animathon. Animathon.
Oh, don't go to that.
Yeah, no.
That sounds horrible.
I don't recommend anything on this list, actually. Except for this. This one I was excited about. I didn't know about this. Air show. There is an air show on August 12th.
I've only ever been to one air show, and it was awesome. It was in Lethbridge, actually.
And get this. This air show was put together by Edmonton's own Daryl Cates.
Are you serious? The Big D?
I think so. I think that's what I'm reading. Daryl, it says Carts. Unless this is a crazy coincidence that this guy's name is Daryl Carts, I think it's a typo.
Where are you reading it?
Edmonton Journal's website.
Okay. No way. It's
There's
a
a different
guy named
guy.
Kurtz.
Yeah, wow. Okay, well, either way. Go there and see. Hopefully they look the same, too. That'd be amazing. And also, probably the most exciting one. Oh, Sunday, August 13th, there's a block party at John Walter Museum. So if you're looking to hit it off with probably some historians, because I can't imagine any...
Where is it?
John Walter Museum.
Oh.
That's those houses by Kinsman Park.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's any young people there.
I mean...
Not with Anime-thon going on.
Not with the Anime-thon going on.
No, everyone's at Anime-thon.
Yeah.
They should have called it Anime-con.
Why?
Like Comic-Con? Why did they go with Anime-thon?
Because it's a marathon of anime.
But would you rather go to a thon or a con?
Definitely a con.
A con sells stuff. I'd rather go somewhere where they sell stuff. And also, I don't know where these guys are from, not Edmonton, but Metallica's in town. So get your tickets to Metallica. That's on August 16th. It's probably pretty expensive.
They're not from Edmonton, but they are Canadian, I think.
Oh, okay.
Metallica Canadian? I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Maybe. They're getting pretty old. I'm surprised they're still doing shows.
Dude,
that's pretty.
Artists
heavy.
never quit.
People like
Burt Cummings is still making music.
Yeah.
Well, not making. He still did shows though.
Mm-hmm. But Metallica, their voices can only do what they do for so long. Half the stuff's just yelling.
Yeah.
I've never understood music like that.
What? Just yelling? I don't know. There's a market for it though.
Rah, rah, yeah. I don't know. People.
Some of the music isn't all bad. I'm not really into the hardcore rock kind of stuff, but
they have a song.
They have a few good songs.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, August 16th. If you want to see Metallica, get your tickets now. I'm sure they're pretty expensive. So yeah, that's what you can do in Edmonton this week.
So for just the other news that's happening around Edmonton, just what happened this past week. 2 guys actually were trapped in a pile of lumber in the North End in Windsor Plywood. Apparently, a bunch of shelves fell down, like a domino effect, like you would see on TV.
In a cartoon.
But people were actually involved in that.
So
it fell on them.
Yeah, in a way it's
piles
hilarious.
Of lumber.
But it's
in a way it's hilarious. No one died. Okay, so
we can joke about it.
So we can joke about it. But a few guys got hurt. So apparently they were trapped under there for a couple hours. It took 30 policemen, 30 plus firefighters to get them out.
And Was there anyone else involved? I read somewhere that some UPS guys were there.
UPS? No, you're reading the wrong story.
Isn't that what you said?
No, EPS.
Oh, EPS.
Yeah, 30.
Oh, I thought you said
30 UPS guys got involved too. Yeah, and also this didn't happen in Edmonton, but in Central Alberta actually. This is pretty sad. A woman has drowned in Gull Lake after a dinghy flipped over. She didn't die on scene, like people rescued her, but she was unconscious and she died on the way to the hospital. So thoughts and prayers, I guess, with that family.
Yeah, that's like the scariest way to go, I think.
But yeah, so on that depressing note, let's get into the show.
The meat.
So usually what we're going to be doing is Sam and I will take a couple topics maybe that we've researched and looked into, and we're just going to discuss them, but have some back and forth. So Sam, what did you bring today?
Today I brought something I've been thinking about actually for a while. Something that I don't think is brought up enough.
No. What do you mean?
No. This is something...
Is it a political issue?
It's definitely not political, but it is controversial. I think... Okay, it's Dungeons and Dragons, okay? I think there's a stigma with Dungeons and Dragons. When you think Dungeons and Dragons, describe who you're seeing playing.
I envision the kids from...
Stranger Things?
I envision the kids from Stranger Things, so 1980s era.
Okay.
And, big glasses, pants hiked up to their nipples.
Yeah, see, I agree if we're talking about kids. But when it comes to adults, then I picture, like, the guys from Big Bang Theory.
I don't know. I think when adults are doing it, it's like, I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah.
But I thought the same thing. But then one day, I had a day off work, and I got sucked into the internet, as usual. And I started reading into this game, and it sounds awesome. Like, it sounds so fun. Like... Here.
Why? What about it? Like, I thought this game went out of style like 30 years ago.
No.
Are you telling me there's people that still play this?
This game is updated regularly.
I have no idea.
We both like Skyrim, right? This game is basically Skyrim, but with so much more customization. It sounds better than Skyrim, honestly. Let me tell you how... Because at first I was hoping I could just buy this game and we could just play it. But we couldn't. I looked in how to start Dungeons and Dragons. First thing you got to do is create a character, it said. Well, no, first thing you got to do is buy all the handbooks. There's, I think, 3 different handbooks you got to buy. One's the player's handbook, which has all the rules and whatnot.
Okay.
The rules, the races, and all that. And then you got to buy the Dungeon Master Manual, which teaches you how to make a quest, the rules of that, how all the rolling works, the dice. And then you got to buy a Monster Manual, which tells you the kind of monsters that are in the game.
Okay.
So I estimated to start playing this game, before you could do anything, you have to spend about $115 in just equipment. And half that's books.
Okay, wait. So these characters that you make...
We haven't even made a character yet.
I know, but I know I'm jumping the gun here a little bit, but these characters that you make, do you get a card for them? Like, where does this character exist?
This character exists only really in your mind, I guess. But there is something on paper.
So we have to spend $115 to create a character in our head?
Well, the $115 isn't just for the character. The $115 is for everything you need, because apparently the rules are super important. Because here, I'll just explain. This is only the character creation part of the game. But they said it could take up to 8 hours. So... First thing you got to do when creating a character is they have the character cards online, which have like everything you'll need for a character, like the abilities, the race, and all that. But it's all just blank spots, so you'll fill everything in. But to fill everything in, it's not just make something up. So with the player's handbook, you'll find whatever you're looking for. So abilities. First thing you start with is your abilities the character will have, like just like strength, perception, stuff like that, speed. There's 6 of them. I forget what they are, but it's strength. Perception, then there's 4 more. So you roll the dice for that. It's like a 20-sided dice. You have to get 6,
so
5
that dice
dice
is like the size of my fist.
No, it's just the size of really small. And there's like 5 other dice you need to get. So you roll the dice, and whatever the number comes up, that's like your ability. I'm not super knowledgeable how the rolling works, but it all corresponds with the handbook. So you'll roll for basic abilities. Then you get to choose a race. So you pick your race. There's like dwarf, elf, gnome. Gnome's a race, human. There's a bunch of different races. Each race comes with its own benefits. So it's like Skyrim for those of you who have played Skyrim.
It's like Skyrim just without the visual stimuli.
Basically, and way more detailed.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I encourage people to use their imagination and stuff. Like, good on you.
This
but
is
like when I was 10,
Yeah.
and like we had an Xbox, I'm like, screw this imagination stuff. Like, I need visual stimuli now.
Yeah, we're dumber.
It's true.
No, okay. So
It's
you
true.
choose race. It will be like, say, an elf will be able to run faster and he'll be sneakier. And then once you've chosen a race, you roll again to see what benefits you take from that race and how strong those benefits are. So things like the strength again. And then once you've done that, this is my favorite one, I think. You choose a background for your character. So this one, I read that you can roll the dice for it, or you can also just pick one. And each background will come with abilities. And I researched some of the backgrounds, and it's like Outlander. There, for example.
Never played that game.
No, that's a background. It's not a game.
Oh.
So one of the backgrounds is Outlander. So I'll just read a quick description of what an Outlander background is. You grew up in the wilds, far from civilization and the comforts of town and technology. You've witnessed the migration of herds larger than forests, survived weather more extreme than any city dweller could comprehend, and enjoyed the solitude of being the only thinking creature for miles in any direction. And then, so that's what the description of an Outlander is. So you could pick that one. And then that one would come with, like, you'd have survival skills, athletic skills. You would speak different languages. Your guy his equipment would change, like what weapons he's carrying. So he would have like a hunting trap or like hunting weapons, stuff like that. So that's my favorite one because it's just so detailed and really gets you in the game.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of make your own backstory for this guy. Like, oh, my guy, he was living in, like, for Alberta people out there, he's living far out in the south, in the Badlands, the Hoodoos, right? So that's why I like that one. So then once you've chosen your background, they will have a list of armor and weapons and whatnot. And then you have to choose that. So you're not even done yet. You're choosing your armor, you're choosing the weapons. You can roll for that as well. But I also read that you can just choose it. But it has to be specific. Everything will be based on this player's handbook. And every choice you make will affect the next choice you make.
Okay.
So that's why I found it super interesting, because that's just the character creation. You haven't even played the game yet.
So can you change your character from like game to game?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So like in the middle of the game, you could like change an aspect of your character, and really no one would know.
No, because it's all gonna be on this sheet of paper.
So like, couldn't you just pick abilities that totally benefit your character, in, like depending on the situation you're in?
Well, see, now you were getting a little ahead, but yeah, we can. That's why it's interesting, because you're supposed to go on these quests. So this is kind of a good segue into the next actual game now.
Okay.
So now you have your character. Say you made your character, but now you want to go on a quest with your friends. That's the actual Dungeons and Dragons you probably see in like Stranger Things you mentioned. They're actually playing, so you didn't see the whole character creation.
Right.
So your character will affect everything that happens in the quest. And that's what the Dungeon Master manual's for. So say, for example, I have an example of a quest. It was, you're in a swamp, you see a house far in the distance, to the right is more swamp, behind you's no way out, it's too thick of a bush or something, forest. So then say, like, all the abilities you had, your race, will affect, like, because the Dungeon Master will ask, what do you do? Player 1, Daniel, what do you do?
Okay.
And then you'll have to make a decision. So you could say, I choose to walk towards the house. And then the Dungeon Master looks at your skills.
Yeah.
And he rolls for you now. Or I think maybe you roll when you're making the decision. And your roll will be based on will correspond with your abilities. And there's some math they do there, I read. There's actual math involved in this game. You add some of your abilities to what you rolled.
Okay.
Then the Dungeon Master will look in his manuals and rule books, and he'll determine if that was successful, or if you got far, or if you tripped, or if you got stuck in the swamp.
Oh. Should be like a really like hard game to get into.
It's intensive.
Like, if you really want to enjoy it, you have to be playing it for hours.
You have to be dedicated to the game. Like, I was reading, and it said you can choose to have a shorter session of 4 hours or a normal session of 8.
I mean, I guess that's not that uncommon. Like, people spend all day on Xbox and PlayStation all the time.
I
But like this
yeah.
is different though because it's mostly in your head, and you made it up. So
It's insane. The more I read, like, just to get into the game, you have to have so much time. Think of the last time you spent a night. You had an 8-hour time in your life where you did nothing.
I think that was last Saturday.
Okay. Well, you need more than just one person to play.
Yeah. Actually, no. Like, are there like places you can go to and you can just play with other people?
Yeah, actually, that's how it said is another way to get into it. Because then you don't have to buy anything. They said comic book stores host them.
Actually, yeah. I was in Lethbridge actually like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, but we actually went into a comic book store, and it was like something I didn't know these places actually existed. But yeah, he had like tables set up for like board games and stuff. Like I was like, wow, I didn't know there was actually a community that still did that.
Apparently, that's the most popular way to get into it, rather than just buying everything and starting with rookies.
Just showing up and playing with those guys who've been playing it forever.
Yeah, or you can find like online meetups. It's weird. It's really weird, but
online. So there's like a Tinder. Is there like a Tinder for Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah. Swipe right to go on a quest.
Swipe right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Swipe right on this quest.
No, I think it'd be fun if you had enough people who are dedicated, but I'm saying that now, and after spending 3 hours making a character, I could just imagine being like, this sucks. Like, you need to be so dedicated. I couldn't even imagine.
No, I don't think I could do that.
4 hours of
maybe
dice.
If I didn't have a life outside of my house, maybe I would be able to, but unfortunately I do.
Well, so we are talking into microphones just to each other for like 2 hours.
That's actually a really good point.
We could replace this with rolling dice and pretending to be people we aren't.
Yeah, totally.
I think it'd be fun. I'm open to the idea. Let's say that. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but if I got invited to do it, I would definitely go just to see. I'm curious.
I'd have to research it more. I mean, would I play it if I was invited? Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know though. I don't think I would.
Yeah, it seems like you have to.
Maybe if it was people that I knew.
You have to like memorize a whole book of rules. It's a lot of work. Like, you think those guys are lazy who are playing this game? No, those are some of the hardest working people I know. The guys who are good at Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I'm more of just like a cards guy. You know, it's quick game cards, 15 minutes, no more, no less.
Yeah,
boom, done.
I'll play an app on my phone. I got into Solitaire.
Is there a Dungeons and Dragons app?
Maybe.
Probably.
There's an app for everything. Wow.
Wow, that was amazing.
There actually is though. There's a water app.
A water app?
Oh yeah. Pour water right in your phone.
And do you know what the funny part is? Someone probably made like a ton of money off that app.
You remember Flappy Bird?
That's true. I was amazing at that game. I was like the best person that I knew at that game.
It wasn't even that hard.
I got like 400 or 500.
Why was it so popular? That's my question.
Flappy Bird? I don't know. Because I think it was the right like difficulty level. And
all these Viners posting videos. That's one thing I'm happy is dead.
Vine?
I don't say that enough, but I'm happy Vine is dead.
Yeah, but unfortunately everyone from Vine just went to YouTube and then just got like a million times worse.
Oh, because now at first they were limited to 6 seconds.
Yeah,
now they have as much time as they want.
Now for some reason they went from 6 seconds to like an hour of vlogs, and it's like, ugh, shoot me now.
I don't get it.
But I don't know.
But I think that's how Flappy Bird became famous. All these Viners filming themselves, and they like throw their phone on the ground.
Probably.
And then there's like
it was actually really I didn't actually watch anyone from Vine play it.
You didn't?
I just found it really addicting.
Because
like, I would just play that game forever because it was difficult, but every time you got further than you did the last time was just so rewarding.
It was pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
But do you remember when they took it down and then like people were selling their phones for like $500?
Yes, with Flappy Bird.
No charger, but Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I know. Like, someone probably and that guy made a fortune off that game.
Even though,
but he was the one who took it down.
I feel like I could code that game. I know nothing about computers, but I feel like I could make that app.
You probably could. Probably.
Like, there has to be 7 different 7,000 different apps exactly like it. There's Flappy Trump, Flappy Burger. You just replace the bird with anything and it's a new app.
Yeah. I wonder if like games like that are gonna make a comeback, because there was a stretch there where like mobile apps were like the shit. You know, like
when I first got my
but now
phone.
like you don't really hear anything. But like there's Flappy Bird, there was Garden. What was the one with like the plants killing the zombies? Plants vs Zombies. Yeah, Plants vs Zombies. I mean, everyone was playing them. I guess that was when like smartphones were like just coming out. I guess so. But I wonder if like games like that are gonna make a comeback. Like games like Dungeons and Dragons.
I think they don't have to make a comeback. I think they're just as popular. I think we've just gotten older, and we don't hear about it.
Yeah, that could be.
Because when like I remember when smartphones first became popular, I was probably like 10 years old, and that was when like if you had a game on your phone, you were the king.
Yeah.
I remember playing games on flip phones.
Yeah, I remember Mom actually had a flip phone, and she had like one racing game on it. It was terrible, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I still play the racing game on my calculator.
Right?
Big car or something?
I don't know.
Big car race. It's hard. It's tough. It's harder than most platform games now, like things on Xbox or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy how much like things have changed. Like now 6-year-olds are have like smartphones.
They grab a book and they think it's touchscreen.
Yeah, I'm not. Like, that's no joke. Like kids probably actually do that.
Yeah, not to sound old because I don't read.
Yeah,
like I never read.
I know, like
either. So
we're talking about how we feel so old, but like there's probably some guy out there who's like, I remember when I don't know, I had to bike to school or something like that. People still do that, but I don't know. I just give an example.
Like ride a horse to school.
Ride a horse.
I'm sure some people in Alberta still do that.
I highly doubt that.
Down south, man.
No one rides a horse to school.
You never know.
I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, because I feel almost like cringy when I talk about like kids nowadays.
Yeah,
I'm still
like,
young.
Yeah, like.
But it's true. Ago. Even when we were kids, there's so much different now.
Yeah, it's crazy how much things have changed.
Like I played Xbox, my fair share of Xbox, even in kindergarten when everyone else was gone at school. I'd sneak into our older brother's room and play some Xbox. But now kids, they have their own when they're in kindergarten.
They have an Xbox in their hand.
Like our nieces and nephews know Batman purely because of the Batman Lego game.
Yeah.
Like at least they're playing that game, not like
GTA like we did on the computer.
I remember one time Justin had a party, and I was being a little brat probably because I was probably 8 years old, and I'd keep bugging him, and then finally he just turned on Vice City, and that's how he babysat me. And John never let me play his Vice City. But then in that circumstance, just to keep me out of the hair, GTA was the babysitter.
GTA, yeah. Well, you probably just didn't understand any of the bad stuff in it.
Well, maybe. It was still fun. I still shot and killed people.
Yeah.
But even, kids nowadays, man, they could probably work a computer better than me.
I do want to highly doubt that, but computers are just getting more complicated. I barely know how to work this computer that I'm on right now. So
Windows 10?
I have no idea. Probably Windows 8. No, it's Windows 10. I bought it 2 years ago.
Was there a Windows 9? No, I think they just skipped it.
Yeah, like what the heck?
Windows 7. Was there a Windows 8? I only remember Windows 7.
There was a Windows 8. I know that for a fact.
And then Windows 10.
And then Windows 10.
Maybe there was a Windows 9.
Maybe it was based on the year it came out. Windows 7 maybe came out in 2007.
Windows 10 didn't come out in 2010.
That's true.
I think Windows 7 came out in 2010.
Yeah, you're right. I think they just skipped Windows 9.
I only remember the ones they downloaded on the school computers. And they were always at least 2 years behind.
Yeah.
We just got Windows 10 this year. I like Windows 7. I'm a Windows 7 guy. That's what I grew up with, and that's what I like.
I don't know. They're not that much different from year to year.
Well, I'm using Windows 7, and I like it. It's easy. I'm sure Windows 10 is not much harder, but either way, I'm a Windows 7 kind of guy. So maybe I don't know.
What?
What do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. Well, actually, there's something that I don't know. This is something that's been affecting my life for a while now. Well, not really my life, but it's come up a few times in my life, and I feel like I just need to address it. Believe it or not, some of you might find this ridiculous. Some of you have probably heard of this before, but
Some of you might believe this.
some of you might actually believe this. And you know what? If you believe it, you might want to, tune out, but don't tune out because we need your views. So there's people out there that believe in a flat Earth. Yes, you heard that right, a flat Earth.
The shape of this table, huh?
So they pretty much disagree with every scientist out there. Now, I'm not saying scientists are always right because they're often not, but it seems like this issue is like, I don't know, in my mind, it was so undebatable that I couldn't believe that there was actually a huge movement around this flat Earth thing. So these people pretty much believe that for the last thousands of years, scientists and the government have been lying to us pretty much and saying that the Earth is not a sphere like we've been taught or brainwashed, as they would say, but it's actually flat. And yeah, actually, some people I know believe this, and I just couldn't believe it.
It just seems so silly to me. I put it on the same level as looking up and saying the sky's not blue, because it just seems that the Earth is circle, or not a sphere. It just seems so obvious.
I think most of them actually, like, there's this one guy on YouTube. I want Eric Dubé.
Eric Dubé.
Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just this guy on YouTube who pretty much just believes in like every conspiracy theory out there. Like, he believes in flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that dinosaurs never existed.
That's more understandable, though.
Okay, well, maybe we'll get into that into another show. But
that's a whole different story.
Yeah,
because I'm almost on that boat.
He probably has the most popular flat Earth video, I'd say, and most of his videos are totally one-sided though. Like, he'll just put evidence out there for a flat Earth without presenting evidence for the opposite side.
So he'll say,
so people will watch these videos, will watch this video or videos like it, and be like, "Holy cow, the Earth is flat," and they won't research it, the other side at all, and they'll be like, and they'll try to convince others that the Earth is flat as well. And if you've ever had an argument with one of these people, it is just the worst. So like this is pretty much what will happen. They'll be like, so they'll be talking to their friends. Oh yeah, the Earth is flat. Did you know the Earth is flat? And you'll ask them, okay, so what evidence do you have? And they'll be like, oh well, look at this picture that NASA had. If you take the layers away, it's fake, right? You can see that they copied and pasted stuff, which is like, okay, I can agree with you there. NASA has faked some stuff.
They're not 100% honest all the time.
No, but to say that they've created the biggest conspiracy theory to date and have included everyone in it, is kind of outrageous. And so what will happen is you'll show them evidence. Let's say you'll show them a picture of
the Earth
that was taken, and they'll be like, oh, that's fake.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, okay, so what will it take to actually convince you? You're talking to this person. What will it take to convince you that the Earth isn't flat? They'll be like, okay, well, maybe a picture of it that's not fake.
So a picture that's photoshopped to make it look flat, then they'll believe it. But photoshopped is the key word there.
So pretty much right when that happens, where you show them evidence, the best evidence that you can, and they just say it's fake, you just have to stop. It's like you can't argue with these people. And actually, Neil deGrasse Tyson actually was on the Joe Rogan show, and he said something that I thought was pretty smart. He said, these people know enough to think they're right, but not enough to know they're wrong.
Yeah.
So they'll watch this video and they'll be like, holy cow, and granted, if you watch that video and you come out and just looking at that evidence, you'll believe the Earth is flat.
I overheard it and it was almost convincing. But it's just so obvious.
It is almost convincing. But
false.
if you don't know more, and like, yeah, you're gonna believe that the Earth is flat. But it's just, I don't know, it's just completely ridiculous. So some of the arguments that they'll use is, okay, so why don't we go to the moon anymore? You know, usually in the 1960s and 50s, getting to the moon was like the biggest thing. And so they'll be like, okay, so why don't we go there anymore?
Well, why don't we?
Well, actually, it's pretty simple. Well, during the 1950s and 50s, there was a race pretty much with Russia to get to the moon.
Yeah, it seems like why would we go to the moon? What benefit does it have? It seems like it just cost a lot of money.
It does. It does cost a lot of money, and that's why only the government could do it. Because private enterprise, like, if you think about it, these companies aren't going to go to their investors and say, okay, we want to go to the moon. Well, these investors will be like, okay, well, what's at the moon? Well, we don't know yet. Okay, how much is it going to cost? Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, what's it gonna get us?
So we're not going to go to the moon. Yeah, I guess not. Mm-hmm. So the government really was the only people that could go to the moon at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the same with Mars exploration too. Yeah. You just don't know what's at the Mars, so why would private enterprise want to do that? I mean, yeah, it just makes no sense.
It costs too much. The risk.
It costs too much.
Reward is way unbalanced. It's way too big of a risk.
It's pretty obvious why we don't go to the moon anymore. So, but these people will be like, oh yeah, why don't we go to the moon anymore? So they'll ask that question, but they won't want to hear any of the answers for it. Another argument.
Fake.
They're what?
The answers are fake.
Oh yeah, the answer's fake. You're full of shit. That's what they'll say. Another one they use is, you don't see the curvature from miles up.
Oh, yeah, don't you?
But like that's like a thing that like I can't prove. Like when you're in a conversation with these people, I've never been that high.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. In an airplane, you're more than a mile up. Yeah, obviously you're miles up. You're like 10 miles up at least.
Well, 30,000 feet. It's like, I think that's the highest commercial airliners can go.
Yeah.
Is it 30 or 35,000 feet?
Something like that. Either that's miles.
Yeah. But like, I'm trying to remember the last time I was on the plane. Could I see the curvature of the Earth?
It's not really something I look for too much, but I'm pretty sure you can.
I thought you could.
If it was flat, would you not be able to see the edges?
Yeah. I don't know. And then actually, if you actually go onto YouTube, you can find a live feed of Earth from space, from the International Space Station.
Fake. It's fake. That one's easy. Like, I can understand why they'd say that's fake.
But if you look at that video, you can easily tell that the Earth is a ball.
Well, yeah, it just seems so obvious. Why is there? Do they have an explanation for sunsets and sunrises?
What they say is that the sun isn't as big as we think it is. That it's more of a spotlight that moves around the Earth.
That still, to me, doesn't explain why it would set. I feel like you would just... that's so silly. So they can just make up their own science and say, oh, this is real because our fake numbers match it.
Yeah.
But then NASA, it's impossible to argue with them.
Yeah. No, it's not really... Their evidence isn't really evidence of anything. It's just something that could also be happening. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not really proving or disproving anything. Like, yeah, technically, in theory, I guess, that could work. But you have no proof of that.
Yeah, do you want 5,000 years ago, those guys would be smart and respected for thinking that. Because most of that, like, I haven't read into it as much as you, but it is smart. Like, they do have an explanation for most things. And I'm not a scientist, but I feel like most of their stuff does check out. But there's just way too much evidence proving them wrong. But their math checks out most of the time.
Like math for what?
For what they calculate the size of the sun to be and the size of the Earth to be, and they make it all work together. So I'm saying 5,000 years ago, like, good on you. But then there was nothing. They had nothing to really. They had no space rockets. Do they believe in space travel?
No, they don't believe. They believe that there's nothing outside of our flat Earth.
So where's those?
Well, I'm not sure. There's flat Earth believers, but in the flat Earth believers, there's different. Yeah, there's different groups of people that believe different things. So, but I think, but don't quote me on this, that they believe that outside of our flat Earth and the, I guess, atmosphere that surrounds it, there's nothing.
So where's all of SpaceX rockets going?
That's actually interesting because they'll take a piece of video footage, and you know how like a rocket launches, right, and then it kind of curves off.
Oh yeah.
They'll be like, okay, well, what's up with that? Why isn't this rocket going straight up?
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about it, most of these rockets are satellites, right?
Yeah.
And they need to go into orbit. And how do you orbit something? Well, first you need speed, right? You need momentum.
Yeah.
To start going around the Earth. So how do they get that? Well, they put it at an angle so that thing will.
Yeah, they're not dumb. The angle's probably so
calculated. If you just launched a rocket straight up into space, it wouldn't start orbiting the Earth just all of a sudden.
It would.
Maybe the gravity of Earth would suck it back in, but it wouldn't start going around. You would need momentum for that object to move around the Earth.
It'd probably go really far away and then eventually spiral into a crash course with the Earth.
Yes, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I feel like all these people that believe this just didn't take a high school physics class.
No, they watched this YouTube video and were like, "Oh, this is fact.
This is doctrine." Yeah.
But it's really not. It's not at all.
It honestly baffles me. Like, I actually cannot wrap my head around how they believe that.
Yeah, I don't get it. And like another thing that I've heard is like there's been pictures. These people would take pictures of these cities from like miles away,
mm-hmm.
and they'll calculate the curvature of the Earth over how many miles. So they'll say for every mile the Earth should curve like 8 inches or something like that.
Yep. So
they'll use that math and be like, okay, from this distance I should not be able to see that city skyline.
Oh yeah.
But so they'll use that as evidence.
Have they ever taken into account that the Earth, though it is a sphere, is not a perfect sphere? It's bumpy. Like it's not like.
That's true. It's not smooth.
Some spots will be higher than the other.
Yeah.
Though it's 10 miles away, it could be on the same like elevation level as you.
Yeah, but like I get what you're saying. But there is like if you looked over water is usually always level, right?
Yeah, it finds its level.
Yeah. So like if you looked over like the ocean
mm-hmm.
and you saw like a city skyline that was like 40 miles away, let's say.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well technically you shouldn't be able to see that skyline.
Yeah, I guess.
But actually I've watched other videos of these guys saying, well, if you calculate the height of those buildings, actually you should be able to see the top of those buildings. So even that evidence that they use is totally flawed.
Well, and if the Earth was flat, why can't I go to the Pacific and see Asia?
Well, they'll say that you can only see so far.
Oh my word! Of course.
Yeah.
And your eyes play a trick on you where it looks like it's curving, but it's not. It's not. It's just your eyes. Your eyes are fake.
Yeah.
That's just, it blows my mind. But maybe that's what they said about the first people to say it was a sphere. Maybe they did a little medieval podcast.
What?
With the first people to say it was a sphere.
Yeah, I mean, like, what would be the goal of this huge conspiracy theory? What? Why?
YouTube content.
If someone can answer that question, please, like, ring us up or something, because it makes zero sense. Yeah, you can say like, okay, the government wants to, I don't know, control us for some reason, let's say. But what about like the astronomers from like 1,000 years ago?
Yeah.
What motivation did they have?
Yeah. What did Socrates have to gain from fooling us?
Yeah. Like they already believed that the Earth was flat. So like, why would he all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, it's a sphere, just to screw with us?
Yeah, that's a good point. Because like at first I was taught that Columbus discovered it was a sphere, but actually it was way further back. And people probably before those guys, those like ancient philosophers or whatever, did the math on it, they probably did believe it was flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're saying they tried creating the conspiracy. That makes no sense because they wouldn't have done the math if they were trying to fool people.
No. And like I think the funniest thing that like they use is like Antarctica is like
the edge of the plate.
Like there's this huge government pact where the government controls Antarctica, and that's why we can't get to the edge because it's controlled by the government. Like it's so ridiculous. It's laughable.
In a way, I kind of want it to be true.
But people are like devoting their lives to this.
It's a cult.
They think it's like the most important issue ever, but really, what impact does it have?
Yeah, I guess. Like, even if they're, I kind of wanted them to be right. I think that'd be hilarious.
No,
Antarctica is a giant military base. I think that'd be cool. It's a good movie.
It'd be pretty insane if they were right, but like I feel bad for these people that actually believe this, because if they're right, the consequences for us are minimal. Mm-hmm. We were deceived by the government. There was this huge conspiracy theory. We had no idea.
Life goes.
But if they're wrong, they're just crazy.
Yeah. And
like, they're just insane.
And if they don't believe, the only way to really prove anything would be to go straight up and look down and see. But they don't believe that's possible. So really, there's no way to prove it. Like, their guidelines to proving a sphere, they say are impossible to do. So, like, you know, the only way to prove it's a sphere is to go outside of the Earth and take a picture of it, or to see it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
But they don't even believe that's possible.
Yeah.
So they eliminate the only option. It's hard to put into words, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only way to get proof is also impossible. It's like a paradox. Like,
yeah.
It's just insane.
The only way that you could convince them is if you took them into space and were like, here.
That would be.
But obviously we can't do that.
Well, soon.
I mean, I guess you could. Maybe you can like get like a balloon and send the camera up there.
Fake.
I don't know, but like if you did it, if a flat earther got a balloon and sent a camera up into space.
I wonder what they would say, what their reaction would be. Would they just be like, all right, like, okay. Or would they jump off and be like, what? I have no reason to live. If the Earth is round, I have no reason to live.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, that'd be interesting. We should find someone and we should start a fund. We should start a GoFundMe fund.
Yeah.
To get a balloon and put it into space.
One flat earther at a time.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, just one.
Yep.
Do you think if we got this Eric Dubé guy, what was his name? Eric?
I think his name is Eric Dubé.
I'll
look it up.
I wonder if his followers follow him or the idea. Because what if we got him to go into space? Got him in space. We contacted Elon Musk himself. Put Dubé on a rocket. Showed him the roundness of the Earth. And if he didn't deny it was fake, and went onto his YouTube channel and said, guys, listen, I've been wrong this whole time. Do you think everyone would immediately be like, okay, Dubé said it. Let's
Absolutely.
Just pretend this didn't happen? Or would they be like, now Dubé is part of it?
No, if Eric Dubé is his name.
Oh, I've been saying Dubé. So.
Yeah. If he got on YouTube and was like, sorry guys, I'm wrong, this whole thing would be over.
You think so?
I guarantee it.
I think there'd be
he's the one that's given it, I guess, attention online.
He's the mouthpiece.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the Bill Nye flat Earth.
It's funny actually that like you bring up Elon Musk because he's one of the first guys that's privatized
space.
Yeah, space exploration. Mm-hmm. But they'll be like, oh, he's in on it.
Of course.
So it's like insane.
Elon Musk, the billionaire, has so much to gain by fooling our neighbor.
Yeah.
Doug.
This multi-billionaire. Like, yeah, what does he have to gain from all this? So it makes zero sense. You can't have an argument with these people. It's completely useless. Like, it's a waste of time. I don't recommend doing it. You'll just get angry. And if it's someone that you know, definitely not.
Yeah, that's interesting. That, not really about flat Earth, but that brings up something else that I find interesting is, like, talk about Elon Musk, the privatization of space. Do you think, like, Christopher Columbus's time, do you think Elon Musk is the Christopher Columbus of space?
I mean, yeah, there's similarities, I guess. Like, Christopher Columbus was given money, I guess, from the government to do all this stuff. So was Elon Musk. He's subsidized by the government, right?
But I think the biggest, like, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, Elon Musk's really only sent, like, crap into space. Like, he's just been shooting metal into space and then coming back and we're all like, this is insane, dude.
So he hasn't really done anything.
He's perfected leaving and coming back. But now he needs to get a human on that rocket.
But now he needs, like, an actual, like, thing to do when he's in space.
I'd go to space if there's not, like, one. That would be sick. You think it's the next, like, amusement park ride?
Probably.
go to space.
I mean, like, they'll probably set up something on the moon eventually.
On the moon. I think
think
that
so.
there's too much bad
Why
stuff
not?
that go on. I'm guessing on Mars. The moon's too close to us.
Yeah, I think the insurance that you would need would be like absolutely ridiculous.
Then that's probably what they said to Columbus, man.
No, Columbus.
Sailing to New England.
Columbus was just given a satchel full of flags from the Spanish government and would be like, okay, here you go claim land for Spain. That's what happened.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. But the moon, it's too close. Too much could go wrong. It like affects our
Too
tides.
close.
The moon, yeah, it's way too close. I think Mars. If Mars, let's say Mars blew up today, would it affect us? Would it really affect you?
No.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Maybe it would. Maybe
Maybe
Earth would end the next day.
Yeah,
But
I'd be
maybe
like, okay,
it wouldn't.
if Mars blew up, we need to figure out why it blew up and
Is
prevent
it
that from
coming
happening
us?
here.
Yeah. Would that make you? I think I believe in aliens. If Mars blew up tomorrow, there would be a lot going through my. That would be insane. Would we even know? Would we be able to see it?
As
Depends.
someone, yeah, probably. You can
think
see
so?
Mars from Earth.
It depends what kind of explosion, I guess.
Yeah.
It's far enough. How long does light take to? It'd be here in like less than 10 minutes.
I would have no idea.
Yeah. I'm not a physicist. We'd see it. Maybe not during the day. We'd see it. If the moon blew up, we'd see that.
No shit. I mean, yeah, but the moon has no reason to blow up.
I'm sure there's a Vsauce video about it.
Probably.
What
I'll
if
look
the
that
Earth
up
was
after.
flat? Who cares? What if Mars blew up, though? That's how he starts his stuff. That'd be awesome. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. I wonder if 100 years from now, if our great-grandchildren will be like, Grandpa, man, like, you're so lame. You haven't even been to Mars yet? It's like the new Hawaii.
Yeah, it's like the new Hawaii. Yeah, I'm going to Mars this weekend. You
For
coming?
the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You must be doing good.
Oh, what are you
at
going to
job
do?
work.
Oh, we're just going to try and survive.
We're just going to, not breathe their oxygen because they don't have any.
Yeah. I don't
Live in
think
a
that'd be-
dome.
I don't think that'd be a vacation.
It'd be like the Martian.
Yeah, we're just going to be growing potatoes. Apparently they have a fecal matter shortage up there, so.
So we're going to go up there, take a couple dumps, beat it.
It's
It's like the new working in the oil fields.
Yeah.
He's working up in space. Sucks.
Yeah.
5 days on, 2 days off. But you get paid really well. You got to eat a lot of Wendy's chili though, because you need to be constantly shitting.
Wendy's chili. Yeah, totally.
Oh man, Wendy's chili. I never gave me meat. Like, I never experienced the horrors people have talked to me about Wendy's chili. I've eaten it. It was good, and nothing bad happened to
Wendy's chili. I don't know. I just know how it's made, and I'd be like, I just never ate it.
One time we literally at Wendy's, we worked at Wendy's, if you're wondering. We had like a garbage pail filled with the old patties. That's what, okay, I'm going to call it Wendy's. Wendy's chili, the meat is just meat that went bad.
Not
Bad. Old. It got old.
okay. Some of the meat that we put in the chili looked disgusting. Like there was this. I kid you not.
Gray.
I pounded up a chili patty that was almost gray, white.
It's not good enough to serve fresh, but cover it in sauce and it's fine. Like that's actually what they're doing.
Pretty much. That's exactly what they did. Yeah, just pound it up, put it in some chili.
It's not like we'd every day make chili. Some days we'd save it.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, this meat's from a couple weeks ago.
It's
So
okay.
just so you know, it's not fresh. Definitely not fresh.
No. I mean, like the patties on the burgers are fine. Okay, we have to say that.
Yeah.
They're fine.
They're good.
But the ones that they don't use on the patties are put in your chili at Wendy's.
They disguise it.
Cover it in sauce and beans, and that's it.
What else do they put? Is it a powder?
Is it? Yeah, it's like a. I'm not sure actually.
Powder mixed with water?
But the rest of the ingredients are fresh, like the celery. I think.
Well,
the beans.
they're frozen, most of them. But
That's
yeah,
true.
they're not. They weren't cooked and then got too old to serve that day, so we served them the next week.
Yeah.
Because once it's in chili, anything goes, I guess.
Yeah.
Their health codes don't matter.
Yeah. No, I remember opening up the freezer at Wendy's and seeing like a shelf full of just old meat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was a health code violation.
Dude, we sometimes because you have to clean the meat. Like I guess we did that. We rinsed it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
One time I walked in the back and it was in a garbage pail, and he was hosing it down with the hose.
He
He was just spraying it, stirring it, throws it in the chili. It's legendary.
It is.
It's my favorite thing.
Good
about
on you.
Wendy's.
You know what? Good on you, Wendy's. We didn't mean to bash you, but good on you guys for
Not wasting it.
not wasting. Yeah.
Well,
Good job.
half that chili goes in the garbage, but yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
waste
not
it.
very many people actually get it.
There's no waste at Wendy's.
No.
Yeah.
That was the worst job ever. I could not stand working in fast food. But
yeah.
from that job, though, I respect people that work in McDonald's.
It makes
I know
me
the
feel a
kind
lot
of crap
nicer.
they have to go through.
Some customers.
So
man.
Wendy's employees out there, respect.
Fast food employees.
Fast food
Not
employees in
McDonald's.
general.
I don't respect a single McDonald's employee.
Do you know what? There's this one McDonald's I go to that there's this one guy there. He's really enthusiastic.
Shout him
about
out,
his
man.
job.
Shout him out. This
I
is a
don't-
Saturday No Show.
I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah, but what McDonald's?
The one on Stony Plain and 189th Street.
By
The
LA
one-
Fitness?
Yeah, by
Oh,
LA
yeah?
Fitness and the Lowe's there. There's one employee there who's just the best. He loves his job, and you can tell.
So,
If I
Yeah.
could tip a Wendy's employee, I would tip him.
McDonald's.
McDonald's employee, sorry.
Yeah, see, do you know what? I respect those who make the best of what they're doing. Because there's McDonald's employees who you can tell go home and just feel sorry for themselves. You can tell while the whole time they're at work, they just hate their lives. But I respect anyone who
They just absolutely hate their lives.
they
That
clearly
was
don't
me.
want
I
to be
hated
there.
my life when I was working at Wendy's.
But I think the best way to deal with a shitty job is to be too enthusiastic.
It's true.
And then you'll find you like it. And if you don't like it, you'll be better at it.
Yeah.
You can't do a job well angry.
Yeah.
I think. At least I couldn't when I worked at
couldn't.
Wendy's. The happier I was, the better I would do. And the more customers would like me.
No, I agree with that. I wasn't very good at my job at Wendy's. Like, I didn't really do
You got
it
Employee of the Month.
once.
That's more than
And
I
that's
got.
because I think they just have to give it out to some.
They
so, like-
stopped that whole thing right when I started.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No. I don't think you got anything for it. Like maybe like $50.
Yeah, you had a choice. $50, movie tickets, or like a
Do you know what? I
Wendy's
don't
gift
think
card.
I think I just got money.
I got a free meal for my birthday once. That's the most they've ever given me.
A free meal?
Well, not even a meal. I was leaving and it was my birthday and they said, "What burger do you want?"
Oh, I just took whatever burger I wanted whenever I wanted to.
Well, I started doing that near the end of my career there.
End of your career. Okay, you can't call that a career.
It was a
Working at it somewhere in high school is not a career.
No, that attitude. It was a career. I got to the point where they said, "We need a new manager. Would you consider it?"
Are you serious?
But I was 17 in high school, so obviously I couldn't, because managers there need to work full time.
But then again, oh yeah, that's true.
And all the new ones got slapped with the night shifts.
Yeah.
And the
True.
night people are basically the same as everyone else, but this isn't racist. But the majority of people there were Filipino, and the night people were just the ones who couldn't speak as good English. Otherwise, everything was the same. But that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm not trying to discriminate or be mean.
Yeah.
That's just what it was.
But they were always the nicest too.
Oh, super kind people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Super
so
kind.
kind.
Yeah.
I love them all to death. I would take a bullet for each and every one there.
Okay, that's a little extreme.
No, there's definitely people I would dodge that bullet. Well, it's true. Did you ever work? There was one guy I worked with. Sounds bad, but he was the only other white guy I was working with at the time.
Yeah.
This not because I have nothing against Filipinos, but there's just that bond you have with the only other white guy. Like, it's just natural, okay? So I'm working with him, and his first full week of Wendy's, he had a woman's uniform. And the women's, it's all the same, basically, but the neck is lower and there's no collar, right?
Yeah.
And he's wearing this, and he's a dude, so it's way too small. And it's going way down, so I'm like, okay, this guy's weird. He must have chose this.
Yeah.
And he's just a weirdo.
Yeah.
But then I'm talking to him, and he's completely normal. He's like 23, like talks about hockey and stuff, so I'm like, he just doesn't know what he's doing. He must be unaware of what he's wearing. But then he got a male uniform, and then he was cool for about like another week. But then he stole $50, went on break, and never came back.
How long was he working there for?
Like a month.
Respect.
He just told me, "Yo, I'm going on break," and I never saw him again. We were like best friends for like 2 shifts.
Did they find out after that he stole the money?
Well, yeah, that's how I found out because I said, "Yo, where's Josh?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in like a month." And they're like, "Oh yeah, he stole $50 and went on break and never came back."
Okay, that's like the best thing I've ever heard.
It's legendary.
It is legendary.
If it like and $50, dude. If you like, in my opinion, if you're gonna steal and ditch,
I wonder what he did with that $50. Maybe he started his own company and was like, "Do you want? Screw this. I'm done working for other people. I'm gonna go start my own company, and this $50 is what's gonna do it."
yeah, I know Josh. He probably bought weed. Yeah, he wasn't the brightest guy. He was fun to work with, but probably not the best person.
Well, was he in high school?
No, he's like 23.
And he was working at Wendy's?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he did not start his own company.
No.
I take that back.
He skateboarded to work.
Yeah. Okay.
He wore a woman's uniform a whole week. Okay. The guy was a stoner.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if you're gonna steal and dip, make it worth it.
Yeah, $50.
Come on. Remember that other girl that one, you know what girl I'm talking about, the weird one.
Oh yeah.
She stole a lot more. But hers was a
But
whole.
she kept working there.
Yeah, it was an operation she was running.
Yeah.
She's like the Joker.
How much money did she steal in the end? Like thousands, I think.
It was definitely above 1,000. I don't want to say above 10,000, but the fact that that number is even coming up says something. Because it came up in conversations.
Yeah.
It was between 1,000 and 5,000. That's a lot.
For Wendy's, that is a lot of money. That's a lot of Baconator meals right there.
And it was enough. She took a small enough amount each shift that they didn't notice. So she was dedicated.
Yeah, I remember working with that girl and being like, okay, this girl's like, she's got a couple screws loose, but she's a criminal mastermind.
Like, she was kind. She was
She
kind of
was
racist,
nice, but there was a few times where she just went off.
You could tell she was disturbed.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I don't want to say too much because I think she might have had a disability. But no, do you know what? She stole enough money where it's justified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that, man. I was there when everything was going
Did
down.
they blame? I thought they blamed it on you.
I had to pay money because one day she stole.
Shut up! They did not make you pay money.
Yes, yeah. At the end of one of my shifts, you have to count your money that you collected during the day, and they have records because of receipts and stuff. And mine was off by about $40, and it's like 12 o'clock because I'm getting off late. Well, probably not, but it's more like 11. And they're like, "Fam, you're off $40." But I was pretty seasoned there. I was one of the near the end of my career. I was one of the like oldest ones, not in age, but in experience there.
Yeah.
At that specific restaurant, at least. So they trusted me. They're like, "We know it probably wasn't you, but either you're gonna get in a lot of trouble tomorrow, or you go run to Safeway and get us cash."
Yeah.
So I'm like,
wow.
Okay, well, I can get it's $40. I'd rather have that than get fired.
Yeah.
For something I didn't do. So I paid the $40, and then at about 3 a.m., this is when they found out she was the one stealing. At about 3 a.m., I got a text. I wasn't awake, but I saw it in the morning from my manager at the time saying, "We found your money," or at least they knew, just had proof it wasn't me. And I got my money back. Yep. But then I never saw that girl again, the one who was stealing.
Oh yeah, well they definitely found her. I wonder if they ever like filed charges.
I think they might have. I think it might have gotten it got intense because soon after, like, the franchisee was coming in, everything was changing. You had to do way more paperwork every time you signed out. 2 managers had to sign every receipt that, like, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You couldn't drop any money without a manager present, not just a signature, but with present.
Yeah.
It got intense.
Yeah.
Like, it died pretty quickly, but there was about a month there where it was pretty intense.
I remember when I was working there one time, we had this new manager. He was kind of a dillweed, but he had an ego problem. I just don't think he didn't like me very much. But my till was out $3.
That's nothing.
It was out $3, and then it was getting close to the end of my shift. And he's like, "Daniel, can you come into my office, please?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Am I getting a raise or something? Great." And he looks at the sheet. "This is what your till should be. This is what your till is." It's $3. And he's like, "Do you have the money?" I'm like, "No, I don't have the money." He's like, "How did this happen?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I think I must have given the wrong change to someone or something."
It's not hard to be able to.
Or a guy asked me, for more change, even though I could have sworn I gave it to him.
Yeah.
But he asked it. Like, something like that happened. He's like, I don't want to see this happen again. And he was pissed off.
What a psycho.
But to know that someone was stealing thousands of dollars underneath their nose
the whole time while you're getting yelled at.
the whole time while I'm getting yelled at, that's insane.
I think I was $3 off almost every day.
But where'd that money go, Sam? $3 every day? That's thousands of dollars. Are you the criminal here?
Oh yeah. Where do you think I got this 2007 laptop from? I stole $50. You did. Wendy's was legendary. I love that job. Well, I didn't. I love it now. At the time, I really hated it. Waking up Saturday morning,
I hated it.
Getting texts.
I hated every single minute of every single second I was there.
But now you look back like, okay.
I look back and I'm like, wow, that was the easiest job I've ever had.
Some days.
But I hated it because it was so boring.
Yeah, I wish I took more advantage of it. Like, I wish I stole more burgers. I wish I gave out more fries. Because there was so many shifts where it's like, I could easily just whip up a couple burgers and take them home. But instead, I would pay for them. I think I'm too honest.
Really?
Oh, I'd always pay for burgers. Probably the last 3 months of my work. My last summer there, I didn't pay for a single thing I ate.
Yeah.
I just took it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends. If it's late at night at fast food restaurants and you take food, like, and they're just about to close,
you're saving. It's good.
They're just gonna throw that food out anyways.
Unless it's a patty, then they'll mash it up.
Unless it's a patty, they'll save it for 3 weeks and then put it in the chili.
And then label it fresh.
Yeah.
Because it's hot.
Fresh, quality ingredients. Wendy's.
Quality is our recipe.
Yeah.
No old meat is your recipe, Wendy's. You're not fooling anyone.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I think all the food I stole was actually me saving the environment.
Good on you.
You're welcome, everybody who's still alive. Without me, probably nothing else would change. Nothing would change. Maybe on a flat Earth it would change.
Flat Earth, it would definitely change.
Can you steal food on a flat Earth?
Probably not.
No, it's probably against the rules.
Yep. Does food even exist on a flat Earth?
Nope. You don't need to eat. You wouldn't age. Because the Earth doesn't rotate. There's no years, no birthdays. It's one day, constantly.
Holy cow. You just, in one sentence, you disproved the flat Earth theory. Hey, flat earthers, I'm 20 years old. Explain that.
How? Yeah. You should be 0.
No, I'm sure they'd be like, well, technically, since the sun's the spotlight, it circles around the Earth. Ugh. Don't even get me freaking started. I don't want to talk about flat Earth. It's just ridiculous.
Yep. That's flat Earth, man. Do you think Dungeons and Dragons is Dungeons and Dragons the world that played in a flat Earth? Now that's something I think is worth researching.
No, definitely not.
You roll the dice about it. It's a 20-sided dice. There's 20 different Earths. Either way.
Yeah. Well, so to wrap up the show here, what we like to do, we like to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
So we visited the Misconnection site,
long lost relationships
on Kijiji. The long lost relationships. Is that what it's called?
And misconnections, different thing.
Yeah. So we're about to reunite 2 long lost lovers,
siblings.
Oh, okay.
Close. No, yeah. So I think we're just kind of testing this out, see how it works. There's other options, but
yeah.
So today we're helping. They didn't put their name in it. I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
But we're helping someone who posted an ad looking for their adopted sibling born in Calgary, between 1945 and 1957. That's a pretty big gap.
That's huge.
So.
Okay, wait. If it's okay, never mind.
So I'm gonna say she, but it could be a guy. They're looking for an adopted sibling born between 1945-57. The birth mother's maiden name was Fish. Birth father's surname was either Money, I think that's what it says, or Clint. I don't see how they don't know which one it is. This sibling was the oldest. The person who posted the ad was second born. They were born in 1959, also put up for adoption, and they would love to connect. So anybody, we're asking for help. the maiden name Fish, surname either Money or Clint. Like that's really the only information you have to go off in Calgary. Between 1945 57.
Yeah.
So they're what 70. I'm not that good at
I
math.
don't know. I'm not going to do the math right now. So if we bring two people together, great. If not, well, life goes on. Doesn't really change. So,
Nothing. This really won't affect us at all.
No.
So
well, we'd like to thank you guys for listening. Remember to click that like button, share this, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about a schedule,
No.
but yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Anyways,
we'll see you when you see it.
Yeah.
So.